This is Geek Therapy Radio.
What are we waiting for?
And now your mental curator, Johnny Hamburger.
Welcome to Midweek Geek on Geek Therapy Radio. Before we get into all the Captain Marvel goodness, let's do a quick 30 seconds here for Audi Central Houston, because Audi just released their new e-tron. It's a fully electric SUV. An SUV EV. That means Audi's first fully electric offering is a family vehicle. It's not just this little roadster, it's not just the sedan. You can put your entire family in it, get about 250 miles of range. It is packed with so much technology to make any geek just go spastic. It is absolutely amazing. So make sure you go to AudiCentralHouston.com and check out the new e-tron. Check out all their fuel-efficient vehicles while you're there, while you're looking at the e-tron. And I promise you, if you go to AudiCentralHouston.com and go visit Danny Posey there, the GM, they'll take really good care of you. So go visit my friends at AudiCentralHouston.com. All right, so I'm sure a lot of you are well aware, and I guess this is even for those that are not, there is a new Marvel movie coming out, aptly titled Captain Marvel. So I thought I'd do this quick podcast here, as quick as possible, I guess, to bring the layperson, including myself, up to speed on who the hell Captain Marvel is. And what I'm about to get into is very filtered and simplified, because my goodness, I even called comic book shops. This story is so convoluted and complicated that, believe me, I'm doing everyone a service here, filtering it and simplifying it, at least for the sake of going into the movie with, going into the movie to know a little bit about who she is and how she got here, just to know a little bit about what's going on here, because all we know is Thanos is in control now, and Captain Marvel is coming to save the day. So let's talk about, again, filtered and simplified, who Captain Marvel is. So let's just get into it. She made her first appearance in 1968 as Carol Danvers. She was just an all-around badass even before she had superpowers, which we'll get into. She was an all-around badass. She was a fighter pilot, a CIA agent. She worked at NASA. All these different things she did. She was a very empowered woman, even in 1968, even without superpowers. She fell in love with, let's just fast forward, long story short a little bit, she fell in love with the original Captain Marvel. I'm not even going to get into why he was called Marvel and why it's a play on words of Marvel. It includes a lawsuit with a different comic book company. We're not getting into that. Carol Danvers fell in love with the original Captain Marvel. Fast forward a little bit. A device that turned thoughts into reality exploded. Captain Marvel shielded Carol Danvers, whom they were both in love, shielded Carol Danvers, but she absorbed much of his genetic makeup. Now, her DNA became an ultra-powerful mixture of Kree and human genetics. So Kree, K-R-E-E, because Captain Marvel was from the K-R-E-E Kree race. I'm trying to simplify this. I know a lot of comic book fans, diehard comic book fans, know that their heads are exploding at how much I'm simplifying this. But to the layperson, that this all sounds kind of convoluted, believe me, I know. So anyways, let's move on. When she recovered from that explosion, she had the ultimate superhuman power. She could channel energy, she could change energy, she could fly, she had superhuman strength, she was ultra durable. I mean, it was every superpower basically you could have, she got from that explosion when the original Captain Marvel shielded her. So let's move the ball ahead a little bit. She can basically kick Thor's ass. She is extremely powerful, and she is probably by far the most powerful of any of the Avengers. If we're going to go back to the movies here, when she comes to the movie, she's going to be just ultimately powerful and the best hope against Thanos. But we'll explain that in a second. Throughout her history in the comics, she has fought alongside many of Marvel's teams, like, the Fantastic Four, of course, the Avengers, and the X-Men. Now, where it gets kind of weird is that her name, since then, since 1968, her name has changed many times over the years, including Binary, Warbird, and probably some other things, but I know definitely Binary and Warbird were her names at some point. But she was established officially to be Captain Marvel in the 2012 comic Avenging Spider-Man #9. So in the Marvel Universe, that's where Carol Danvers officially got the name Captain Marvel. It was in 2012. So since the movies are free to deviate a bit or fluctuate a little bit from the actual comics, from the actual Marvel gospel, all you really need to know is that when she appears in Captain Marvel in the upcoming movie, that she is officially Captain Marvel. So if you were keeping the movies separated from the comics and just following the storyline of the movies, all you really need to know is that officially in the movies, she is Captain Marvel. Oh my goodness. And like I said, since she's ultimately powerful, since she can, kick Thor's ass, since she can basically overpower, outmanipulate, out-durability any of the Avengers, she is the best hope against Thanos, hence her showing up in the new Captain Marvel movie. Now, to conclude, I know this all sounds very convoluted, and believe me, I know it is, but just trust me, this is almost insultingly simplified. Just trust me on that. I called around comic book shops in our city, and these experts were just like, yeah, it's very complicated, very convoluted, and no one knows. No one is going to officially raise their hand in any of our shops to say they are officially experts on Captain Marvel. So basically, what I just told you is as good as it gets as far as explaining Captain Marvel to a layperson. So thank you for sticking with me. This has been this week's Midweek Geek here on Geek Therapy Radio. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you're watching on YouTube, yes, you see me kind of looking off to the side here. I'm running a radio station at the same time. This is, like I explained, it's a radio show first, podcast second, and then YouTube and the social media stuff comes after that. So I try to do my best making it work with all mediums. So I sincerely thank you from the bottom of my heart, if you're watching this on YouTube, for sticking around. That's going to do it for this week. Be good to each other, starting with yourself. The best way to be good to each other and do the best in this world is to start by being good to yourself, because we don't often think of that first. So be good to yourselves, my geeks. That's the best way we can be good to each other. If you'd consider subscribing on YouTube, that'd be great. If you'd subscribe to the podcast, that'd be great. If you just want to be a part of Geek Therapy Radio in general, in any way, shape, or form, at Geek Therapy Radio across all social media, I would very much appreciate that. Thank you very much for your time this week, my geeks. I will see you guys later.